Hey guys, what's going on? So last week I announced that I'm gonna be hiring an editor, and I thought in honor of that, let's talk about editing. If you didn't hear, I'm looking for an editor. Of course, it would be nice if you also know how to film. Bonus points if you're from Canada, you have to know Premiere Pro. What else is there? If you're interested, go and check out the video I posted. It has some instructions on how to apply for this position. But let's talk about 5 pro techniques that you can do right now to make yourself a much better editor. And some of these also save a ton of time, which is one of the most important things, and also the reason why I'm hiring an editor, because I'm just running out of time. I want to make better videos, but editing takes up so much of the time. And if I can get some help in that area, that means I can make a lot better videos and possibly even more content. All right, so these are some of the biggest, best techniques the pros use. I highly recommend them. And number 1 is to edit to the music. If you're not doing this, you're really missing out. I think this is a big step that a lot of people actually miss out on. You can't just choose good music. You also have to kind of feel the music. I like to just listen to it and figure out what's going on in the song, and then you can edit to it way better. Figure out what's the pace of the song, what's the structure, where's the build-ups, what's happening in the song, are there cool riffs, what's the beat like, is there a really good snare or a really good bass drum? Figure out and feel the music, and then you can start editing to the music. Now, I've done a whole video on how to actually edit to the music. Essentially, the visuals should be an extension of the song. They should fit so well together. So let's say you want to edit to the bass drum to have that same beat, that same feel, or maybe you want it a little bit more intense and you edit to the snare drum. Those are going to make those edits a little bit more in your face and a little bit more dramatic. Or maybe there's a really nice build up into the chorus and the beats start getting faster and faster, and then you're gonna do some more faster cuts in those sections. So you really need to listen to the music and then edit to those beats, edit to what's going on in the music. Don't just slap it together, even if it's a vlog, make sure you're editing to the music. One of the biggest pro tips that I could ever give you. 2, use a dual monitor, or even better is an ultra wide screen like I'm using right here. Pro editors in general always have at least 2 monitors, just so you can have more screen real estate and see what's going on. It speeds up your process a lot. But I got this 38-inch ultra wide LG monitor and I'm really liking it. It's really nice to just have one long screen that you have everything on. There's nothing separating the 2 different screens. I can genuinely say I really like this monitor. At home right now I have my iMac set up, and then here at the office I have this beauty of a screen. I just bring my laptop, plug it in, and now I don't have to deal with a 15-inch crappy monitor. I have this massive screen that I can work off of. I got screen real estate for days. And why is this important? Well, a bunch of reasons actually. You want your image to be nice and big so you see what's going on. Also, your timeline can be bigger. You can have all the panels that you need out and open so you can access them much quicker, so you don't have to click through different places. You just have them ready right there. It just makes it so much more fun and enjoyable to edit when you got everything right there and you can actually see your image in a big way instead of having this little tiny screen that you're constantly squinting at to see. That sucks. Also, the fact that it charges my MacBook at the same time, so I don't have to bring my charger back and forth between the office and home. Just one less thing that I have to remember. Because that's one of the big challenges with the office, is if I forget something here, I gotta drive all the way back and then back home, and it's a bit of a pain. And I thought because it's a curved monitor, it'd be a little bit distracting or weird, but I actually really like it. It's just a lot more immersive. It just makes sense. Also, I could see this being pretty dang sweet for something like Fortnite. Confession time, yeah, I've been playing still a little bit. I even got a gaming mouse. Does that make me a gamer? Well, if it does, I'm not very good at it. And number 3 is to use keyboard shortcuts. This is another real big one, and I've done a whole video just on keyboard shortcuts. But if you have to look down or use your mouse to find the different shortcuts, then you're wasting your time. You should be able to just click a button and you got that shortcut key right away. It does what you need it to do. This will literally save you hours and hours of time editing each time you make a video. So over the days and weeks weeks and years, it's gonna save you a massive amount of time. I can't stress this more. Take the time, learn the shortcuts. You're gonna be thanking me after like a month of using those. But these are some of my favorite shortcuts that I use all the time. First off, we have the ripple trim previous edit to playhead. Now this sounds confusing, and maybe that's because it's doing a bunch of things with just one push of a button. But essentially what it is that where your playhead is, it adds a cut and then it moves over the beginning of the clip to wherever that clip started. And how I use this is that I edit to the beat and then I find the point where I want the next clip to start from, and I just hit that keyboard shortcut and that clip starts where I wanted it to start at that beat. Boom, easy, ready to go. And then the next keyboard shortcut that you want to use is ripple trim next edit to playhead. And this is doing the exact same thing, except it's just choosing the end points. So essentially you're choosing the in and out points really quickly, and it's shifting everything around so you don't need to do all that. You don't need to cut, delete, and then move over the clip. It just does it all for you. Another shortcut that a lot of people don't use or don't even know about is the add edit. And what this does is just with one click of the button, it adds a cut into your clip. So instead of having to choose the blade tool and going and cutting, just one button, click, done, and then you can just continue from there. These are my favorite 3 shortcuts that I use all the time. I highly recommend getting used to them and just seeing how they work. Number 4 is to stay organized. And now this is another one of those boring tips, but it's super important. Why is it that always the boring ones are like some of the most important? Anyways, you want to stay organized. You want a nice folder structure. Make sure everything is organized nice and clean and neatly. So if you need to find something, you can find it nice and quick. Or if you need to pass it on to somebody else, or somebody else needs to work on it a little bit, they know what's going on. It's not just a mess of files and folders and it just looks terrible. Saves you time and headache and just makes it way more fun. Number 5 is to use different workspaces. Now, this is a bit of a Premiere Pro tip, but use different workspaces. You can actually make custom workspaces, have different panels in different places, and then save those. So what I like to do is to have a specific workspace that's for editing and then one for color grading. The editing is going to be a little bit different. The timeline is going to be bigger. I don't necessarily need to have the image or my video clip showing as big. And then I want some effects, but not that much effects or anything going on. I want to see the source monitor and then what's going on in my edit, and that's about it. But then with the color grading, I like to have things like Lumetri scopes. I like to have different effects out. The timeline can be a little bit smaller, but then the image needs to be nice and big so I can really see what's going on in my video clip and then color grade it in the best way possible. Huge tip, and again, it's gonna make the editing process a lot more enjoyable, and that's really the key, because editing can be really tedious and sometimes kind of boring. And if you're not used to things like keyboard shortcuts and workspaces, then you're just making it even harder for yourself. A lot of people are actually pretty good editors, they're just not very efficient. They're doing things a little bit wrong, and with these little tweaks, you can become a lot better editor. And an editor is like one of the most important jobs. There's so much work for editors, and the nice thing is you need very minimal equipment to be an editor, and you can do it from anywhere. Not everybody needs to be a director or a DP. An editor is a really cool job and really important. Just get good at it and put yourself out there, and I know you're gonna get some jobs editing some videos. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed some of these tips. I guess I'll just go and train my Fortnite skills or something, because I'm pretty bad. All right, see you guys later.